Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. In the divine presence of Sri Yadugiri Yathiraja G.S. Swami, I feel grateful for him to have given the opportunity to talk about the shlokas of the Gita and how it can be relevant and relatable in today's world. In the previous shloka, we saw that Krishna talks about how we should not let distractions destabilize our mind equilibrium. He talks about how we should withdraw from distractions just like how a tortoise withdraws its limbs. Well, now that we have withdrawn from distractions, what must we do now to focus on the task at hand? Krishna says in another shloka that we must not worry about the outcomes. Krishna says that we must not let the outcomes destabilize our mind equilibrium. Both are very important. One, we should not let outcomes destabilize our mind equilibrium, that is labha, alabha, jaya or parajaya. And also Krishna says that we must not let distractions destabilize our mind equilibrium. Well, using this scenario, we saw that these two shlokas have such in-depth and relevant meanings today. Today, I shall take upon another scenario to really establish that yes, Gita shlokas are still relevant today. What scenario am I going to talk about now? Well, we must have all felt extreme anger some or the other day. How do we deal with this? Does the Gita talk about it? Well, Krishna has a beautiful chain on how anger destroys our intelligence. Let me tell you the shloka. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smritirbhramshat buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. What does Krishna say here? Krodhat bhavati sammohaha. From anger, that is krodha, sammohaha bhavati. What is sammohaha? Here we must interpret it as loss of clarity. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. What happens if we lose clarity? We lose clarity about what? The values. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha. We lose all memories of the values that we have had. Smritirbhramshat buddhinasho. Once our values are lost, our intelligence does not know how to act. It loses sense of discrimination. Smritirbhramshat buddhinasho. And what happens if our intelligence and sense of discrimination is destroyed? Pranashyati. Everything goes into a mess. This is a beautiful chain, right? Krishna talks about this. He says that we must keep reminding ourselves whenever we are in a state of anger, we must keep reminding ourselves of this chain. Whenever we are in anger, what happens? Let me repeat this so that it is reiterated. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha. Anger leads to loss of clarity. Loss of clarity leads to krodhat bhavati sammohaha. Sammohat smriti vibhramaha. Loss of clarity leads to loss of values. Smriti vibhramaha. Smritirbhramshat buddhinasho. Loss of values leads to loss of intelligence or sense of discrimination. Once a sense of discrimination is lost, pranashyati, everything goes into a mess. So let us remember, whenever we are angry, let us keep reminding ourselves of this shloka and this chain. Well, what else can we do to prevent anger? Krishna gives a beautiful shloka that explains us how we can stop from getting angry. Uddharedatmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhuhu atmaiva ripuratmanaha. What does this shloka mean? Uddharedatmanatmanam. We must keep reminding ourselves that our mind is in our control. We must use our mind to elevate ourselves. Uddharedatmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhuhu. This is a beautiful concept. Atmaiva hyatmano bandhuhu. Your mind can be your bandhu, your friend, or atmaiva ripuratmanaha. Your mind can also be the worst of your enemies. What does Krishna mean here? He says that if you have mastered control over your senses, your mind is your bestest of friends. If you have mastered control on how you deal with emotions, your mind becomes your best friend. But if you let your mind take control over you, if you let distractions take control over you, if you let anger take control over you, then the mind becomes your enemy. These two shlokas help us in analyzing what we should do when we get angry. So let us take these lessons from the Bhagavad Gita And whenever we are angry, let us take Krishna's beautiful chain example of what anger leads to and calm ourselves down. We should know that anger only leads to mess. Anger does not show prowess, it only shows weakness. Only clarity of mind shows how much mental strength you have had. And with Krishna by our side, we must have immense mental strength, because our faith in Krishna should only lead to mental strength. It must not show mental weakness. Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha.
Yathiraja, 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 Jaya Ho. Yathiraja, Yathiraja, Ramanuja Jaya Ho, Ramanuja Jaya Ho. Yathiraja, Yathiraja, Yathiraja.